Hello, this is Jennifer House here from First Step Nutrition again, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about arsenic in rice. So generally I don't like, fear-mongering and making you think that our food is dangerous or toxic, but this question is definitely an FAQ. Comes up especially when I talk to moms groups because they probably heard about arsenic in rice cereal and they're wondering if it's dangerous for their babies. So to start with, arsenic is a natural element. It's found in water, soil, the air, and this natural arsenic found in plants and animals is called organic arsenic, and it's not really what we're concerned about. So it's inorganic arsenic that we're a little more worried about, and this is often found in soil or water, often due to fertilizers or a lot of industrial pollution. So the arsenic in our water and soil, it has been increasing due to pollution. And it is listed as one of the World Health Organization's top 10 chemicals of major public health concern, but this is more of a concern in areas where water is contaminated. So Bangladesh, for example, they've had thousands of people die in Bangladesh because their water is poisoned with arsenic. In terms of where arsenic is found in the food we eat, you've most often heard of rice, and that's because rice absorbs arsenic 10 to 20 times more than any other grain. So you'll find a lot more of the inorganic arsenic in rice. And rice is in so many products like rice milk, rice cereal, rice crackers, right, baby cereals. A lot of natural energy bars or granola bars have brown rice syrup in it instead of glucose fructose or high fructose corn syrup. And honestly, I'd rather have the glucose fructose because the brown rice syrup, even though it's natural, would be a highly concentrated source of arsenic. So there you go, organic or natural is not always better. And then another issue is so many people are eating gluten-free, and of course it's required for celiacs, but most of the gluten-free grain products are rice-based, so you'd be getting a lot of rice as well. So what's the problem with arsenic? Why is it dangerous? Most of us know at high doses, acute doses, it can cause death. I don't know if you had to watch that old movie, Arsenic and Old Lace, in junior high, but I did, so we know arsenic is poisonous. But in chronic small doses, like maybe some people are getting in their food or water, it can lead to chronic arsenic poisoning called arsenicosis. And this has been linked to heart disease, as well as diabetes and different types of cancers as well. In children, lots of arsenic has been linked to lower intelligence, so problems with cognition. And then in utero, so if you're pregnant and taking in a lot of arsenic, that's been shown to negatively affect the baby's immune system. So those are the potential problems with arsenic, and that's why the FDA, or Food and Drug Administration in the US, a few years ago, they tested 1,300 different products and rice just to look at the levels of arsenic. And it ranged from 1 part per billion in infant formula all the way up to 160 parts per billion in brown rice, which was the highest. So based on this, in 2016, the FDA proposed limits just on infant rice cereal, and that limit was 100 parts per billion. And of the infant rice cereals they tested, about half was under this 100 parts per billion, and the other half was over, although most were just very slightly over. But I think it's a good thing that that limit is in place. For adults, they didn't put any recommendations, any limits, or on any other food products other than infant rice cereal. And instead, they suggest eat a well-balanced diet, of course, for good nutrition, and that minimizes any negative effects from consuming any one type of food product in excess. So in general, there are other ways you can decrease arsenic in the amount of rice that you have. So one way is to rinse it. So just put it in a strainer before you cook it and rinse it under running water. Another thing you can do is soak your rice. So if you soak your rice in about 6 cups of water to every 1 cup of rice just overnight before you cook it, this decreases the amount of arsenic in the rice by up to 80%. So gets rid of almost all of it. If you don't have time, you forgot to soak your rice overnight, then you can also cook it in a lot of water. So if you use 6 to 10 cups of water per 1 cup rice, so basically you're just boiling it, and when it's done, just rinsing off the extra water, that also gets rid of a lot of the arsenic. It gets rid of some of the nutrients too, like B vitamins, but I think the benefits would still outweigh the risks of cooking in lots of water. So I think I'm going to stop cooking my rice in my Instant Pot or rice cooker, where you use 2 cups water per 1 cup rice, and just going to boil it in a huge pot of water and rinse it afterwards. Another common question is, well, can I buy rice from a certain area? Are certain areas higher in arsenic? And the FDA found that rice from Texas was high, rice from California was low, particularly aromatic rices like basmati or jasmine are lower. Sushi rice is lower. And brown rice is actually higher in arsenic because arsenic is found in the outer shell, so that brown which is removed for white rice. However, brown rice is still, of course, higher in fiber and nutrients, so if you're able to boil it and rinse it, I'd still say brown rice is more nutritious. Although, again, variety is okay. I have some brown rice at home, some white rice. The FDA did avoid making comparisons between state by state, country by country, because the amount of arsenic in rice varies so much depending on the time of year it was grown, the fertilizers the farmer uses, how they use water. But Consumer Reports actually did a really interesting study too, looking at all the different varieties of rice and the amount of arsenic. And what they found was rice grown in the Himalayan areas, so that would be from Nepal, northern Pakistan, northern India, were lowest in arsenic. So you could look for that, or rice from California. I just checked one of the bags of rice. I have it here, and it says, right on the back that it's from a farm in California, so that would be good. Again, sushi rice, you don't really have to worry about sushi. It's lower in arsenic. And for babies, so I would, just suggest skipping the rice cereal. If you use it, or if you have some, at least include a variety. There are a lot of other, oats. This one's a multigrain, so, your baby's just not eating rice cereal 3 times a day. And then for older toddlers and children, I would avoid against a gluten-free diet unless, of course, they have celiac disease, because then they'd be eating, a lot more rice products. And, I know it's boring, but for yourself, really, moderation and variety is the key to health, including in our discussion today. So if you have any more questions about this, just comment below. I'll get back to you. And if you have any friends you think would find this interesting, feel free to share it with them. Thanks for watching.